Welcome back to the Hypervision podcast. This is episode something. I think 17. I don't think I've said that in a while though, so I don't know why I tried that. Before I get into everything, I think we forgot it last week. Shout out to our unofficial official sponsor, Legacy Cornhole, and Prime. Right? Noah's got it now. I'm not gonna get back up in my chair to show it. Do we have another sponsor? No, we don't. Martinelli's apple juice.
Best apple juice ever.
Yeah. We got, obviously, the beautiful man. I think he'll be in the middle here. We'll figure it out when I edit it. Maybe he's not in the middle, but beautiful man, Noah. How we doing?
Good, man. Good. Busy. Been busy, but we're going strong. Trying to finish out the year, and yeah, all good.
And then, obviously, you guys see him here. This random man. This is my buddy, Jake.
He's not random.
Pointing.
He's a dog.
He's a dog.
Dog. double G. Oh, WG. Whoops.
WG. That's the one. Yeah. So me and Jake, friends from high school, played soccer together all these years. I let him go on. I wanted to make sure he was the one that kept the legacy going.
A lot of people, especially in high school, they definitely put me in the spotlight more, and they hid their talents, I think. Mm-hmm. Like Joe Hardy. Joe Hardy
for sure.
He was
like the Joe Hardy. Oh.
He was the backup striker, but he was our number 9, and he selfishly let me start over him. Unselfishly,
yeah. So I mean, he had that in him. He has scored a diving header. Like, who else does that?
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that. His first year back playing soccer, scores a diving header.
Oh, unreal.
But anyway, we got Jake here. How are we doing, man?
I'm doing good, enjoying this nice weather while it's still here before it gets super cold and sports are miserable and going outside is miserable. So I'm happy right now, but probably last a week longer.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I mean, if that even, honestly, I think it's going to be like a couple days until it's out of the 70s.
It's so annoying that you just said that. No, but I'm good. I'm chilling. It's off season. We're training a lot. But life's good. I'm blessed. Everything's going good around me at the moment. So yeah, definitely appreciating that.
Yeah, that's always good to hear.
Yes,
we'll get the big thing out of the way everyone wants to talk about. You got drafted. I want to talk about that day. Let's go back to that day. Like, what's that even like? When someone says that to you, what goes on in your mind? Because does that even hit yet?
Honestly, yeah, for sure. It's hit. It's settled in. It's kind of in the past already. You kind of have to move on. But like when people ask about it or it comes up, I definitely, obviously, love to talk about it. But that's just because people want to know about it. Like family, friends, all that. So I don't mind talking about it. I get excited when I talk about it just because it was an exciting day.
That's your life goal.
Right. Everything kind of leading up to that day made it exciting too. So I finished a good season with Bowling Green. Mm-hmm. Then I did like a couple combines. I got invited to the MLS combine, which was unexpected, kind of unheard of for BG guys. So that definitely created some hype because everyone's like, oh, like he might get drafted,
Right.
A lot of people didn't think that I was kind of like that guy.
Yeah. You've been that guy.
No, you know what I meant. But so all those things kind of went into the excitement of the day, like people texting me, just seeing the things that I was doing leading up to it and all the announcements that were made. BG made a big thing about it. So it was cool. Yeah. And then obviously afterwards, I had my family come and my family was there. Some friends that just popped in and out, some old coaches that popped in and out throughout the night, just saying congrats. So it's kind of cool how the night went, and eventually just woke up the next day and figured out what was next. And, you like I said, you got to move on and just kind of put it in the past and look to see what's next. So, but it was sick, man, and it's cool to talk about it still. Like I said,
Oh yeah.
so definitely an unreal experience. Like I always dreamed about. Always, I mean, back in high school when we were talking about it, just like people getting drafted, Jordan Morris, like guys like that coming out of Stanford, like yeah, he got drafted #1 overall, right, or something. I
I
don't
don't
even
think he.
remember.
I don't think he did the draft. They like finessed rules for
Just
him
went
because
through.
he had that trial in Germany or something.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right. But even then, just like
yeah.
players like
But
that
yeah,
coming
coming out of
through.
college and that's crazy. I was talking to a guy about Jesse Marsh today, and I was like, it's crazy thinking like a guy that like coached at or like played at Princeton is like a Premier
Prince,
League coach now.
yeah. It's crazy what you can do if you just believe and put a little bit of effort into things.
Yeah,
And it like when you see things like that, it's like, and you get older, you realize like you can do things yourself, and you can like create things, and you just have to put a little bit of work into it. So yeah, definitely cool. But now I'm here. Now it's been almost a year.
yeah,
Almost. It's wild.
yeah. Because I think the first game I went to, like Tyler was with me, and we were both sitting there watching the game. We were like, makes you think. What if I tried a little bit harder each year? Like this could have, like
Just a
I could have
little.
been, I could have been some one of the guys on this team. Like we were watching Miami play. You know, like I could say it, you probably can't. I don't know if you can. Terrible. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we're
Terrible.
just like, like maybe if I just didn't play 6 hours of FIFA a day, like I could have done something. Like got on ran or like worked on my touch a little bit, worked on my left foot.
I think about that too. Like I gotta
Yeah,
be honest. I think about that too. I think
yeah.
we all could kind of think about that, and then we look at maybe Ronaldo and think about what he did, and he
I
probably
mean, but
did it
even then,
too.
I'm sure he sits there and goes, "Well, I don't know. He's pretty arrogant. He might not think there's anything he can fix."
Maybe not.
But like even those
Maybe.
professional players, top of their game, like they're
Right.
always like, "Wish I could do this better."
Right.
But
So, so it was like you didn't know, like you were never like you didn't think you were ever on like the radar. So it kind of like the
Yeah,
combine
you want me to go?
invite. You were
I'll
kind of.
talk about that a bit. I
I'm
like.
just curious. So I'm huge into like scouting. So like I'm always interested to see like where um like how it all began for a player, like how like initially, like obviously someone had to watch you in the MLS and be like, all right, this guy deserves an invite prior to the
Right.
invite. So it's like
Right.
I
I
don't know.
like talking about this because, like, before it happened to me, I was always super into it. So, like, I always knew the big players. I knew who was gonna be drafted. Like, because when I played NIA ball, like, I was always paying attention to the top teams and D1, the top players. Like, I knew what was going on, and so eventually, like, it started to happen to me. I'm like, yo, like, I gotta start looking for an agent, or like start asking my coaches if they can like start helping me out, because I'm obviously helping them on the field, right? And they were like, my coaches at Bowling Green, they were doing stuff already. So when I went and asked them like what was going on, if like anything was kind of being talked about, like when I started putting up some good numbers, some goals, players of the weeks, like stuff like that, you start wondering, okay, like are people watching? Like, do they pay attention to this stuff? And then I had one game. This is kind of when I knew that like it was gonna happen for me. We played FIU at home, and they were ranked 12 at the time. We were receiving votes kind of early in the season. I'd say like a couple weeks into the season, so 6 7 games, and we're trying to make a statement, trying to get in the top 25. And after the game, we beat them 2-0. I probably had one of my best games of the season that game. Shut out the number one scoring team in NCAA. Like, we played really well. Other coach came up to me. He goes, "I just want you to know that I had a ton of scouts watching this game for my team, and after this game, they're all gonna be wondering who you were." And when he told me that, I was like, okay, like the other coach, like I kind of knew of him a little bit. He knew of me a little bit, but never met. just like mutual friends, and he's telling me this. Okay, like I'm gonna push for it. Like it's gonna happen if I keep working hard. So yeah, that's kind of when I knew I was like getting on the radar. Is like midway through the season when he told me that, and then eventually just things started opening up because I kept playing well. So very interesting being a part of it after watching it for so long, and it was definitely sick. But like I said, like even this year, I'm paying attention to like D1, who's at the top. My brother's still playing too, but like I just love it. I love football and I love American soccer. Following it, like that's kind of what me and Drew have had in common for like all our
Yeah.
friendship
Yep.
is that connection to not just soccer but just like American soccer. So it's
Yep.
kind of unique, I guess you could say.
Yep. And
But I
he's
love
been
it.
teaching me, so because
Yeah,
I had no idea, and then I roomed with him in college, and ever since it's like I'm getting a little more
right. And it's just
educated
it's
every year.
sports. Sports are fun. I'm getting into like fantasy NFL this year.
Oh heck yeah!
And yeah, and I honestly like I'm starting to watch a little bit more of it. I didn't watch probably I mean I barely watched any NFL last year, but it helps, and now I'm appreciating the sport a little bit more, what they do, like the injuries they go through, all that stuff. Like I'm kind of seeing on the inside a bit more. So yeah, no, I like it. I like that you're getting into soccer. It's sick. It's super sick.
Oh yeah.
We're picking the best time too. He's got a month till the World Cup.
Yeah, and then 4 years and then it's in America.
I know.
Gonna be a huge football fan after that.
Yes sir.
Yeah.
Yes sir.
No, but to put Noah down for you real quick, he's a big Tottenham fan. Only for the fact that the only two players he knows in the world are Kane and Son. He's called and he knows Christian Bale.
Okay.
So
Christian.
not Gareth Bale, Christian Bale. Yeah.
Hey, we're still
But
learning.
so I had to
Small
text him
steps,
today. I was like, "Hey Noah, Son wants out of Tottenham." So
I
Christian
think
Bale, man.
I think my favorite player though has to be Jason Russell Rowe. So I have to get that out there.
I didn't tell him to do this. I told you he'd bring it up.
I
I
know.
have to get it out there. So we watched your game, and the dude just has that dog mentality.
Bro,
Did you only go to one, Noah? Did you go to two?
I only went to one.
Okay, I think
one. Yeah,
I don't think you went to the first one we went to, right?
I
Did
don't
you?
think so. Mm-mm.
So that wasn't the Miami game. I think it was the FCC game you went to with Adam.
Oh my
Yes.
Yeah,
god.
Yes.
yeah. He scored
This
4, I
guy
think.
all season. All season.
Yeah.
He's just
Dude.
he's got
Well,
that dog.
not even the second team. Like the moment he went to the first team, he put up numbers.
Yeah, the first
Yeah.
I mean, I think his debut he put in Toronto, he had a goal and an assist.
Yeah.
So yeah, he stepped in, played well in that game. Didn't get much after that, I'd say.
I
Here
think
and there.
it was unfortunate timing because that was when Cucho came in. I think wasn't it?
Unfortunate. But he's still like it was good for us. He played with us pretty much the majority of the season, minus a couple games.
Yeah.
He's just so good. I recreated him in FIFA. Like, yeah,
But
he's so good.
He's honestly like, and just how he is too as a person. He's so funny, man. He's an interesting guy, but like he'll walk around just cracking jokes or people cracking jokes at him, just roasting him, or he's trying to roast other people. It's fun. He on the field though. He'll be a top baller. Like I think Canada's got to be calling him to the U23s. Got to be.
Hey, World Cup soon. Might as well.
Right. Like if they're not, man, I mean, I don't know what they're doing, Like like at least the U23s, the dude's I think 20.
Mm-hmm.
So
gosh, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
so young.
crazy.
He's so young, like compared to at least me, I'm a couple years older than him, but even in just this profession, you just see like all these young kids like training with us right now. It's wild. It's wild. But he's a dog. Jason will be a top player. I think he'll make his way and get more minutes this next year. I think he'll probably be like number 2. so he'll get more time, more chances, and I mean he just keeps improving. Like in practice, he like today we were on the same small sided team, and it's just always easy to find him. Like he's just always in a good spot, good feet. Yeah, he's a baller, top baller. It's a good favorite player to have.
All right, that's my guy. All right, let's go. I'm ready. Awesome. Next to you. Yes.
Right. This next season, we'll get some Erlandson gear out there, and maybe we'll get some more minutes on the field.
Yeah, we'll get that. That's always coming, no matter what. I mean, unless you get another injury, but I guess that's uncontrollable.
It won't happen. I'm doing everything I can, so
yeah.
It won't happen.
Yeah.
Like drinking apple juice.
So for the Crew 2, this is the first time that MLS Next was around and all that stuff. Like, is their recruiting and like all that stuff just like 10 times above everybody else? Because you guys just like
honestly
cruise through the season. Like, and the crazy part though was like that St. Louis was in the final. Like, they're not even an MLS team yet, and they had a whole second team set up and everything. Like, there are teams that have been established since the dawn of the MLS that have terrible that had terrible teams. That was almost crazier than like just watching you guys win the whole thing. I was like, St. Louis, the fact like they've been a team for 4 months, put that together.
I think running through the teams, I think like FCC, it was the teams really with like good academies that did well.
Mm.
So if you're thinking not really like second teams, you're thinking, okay, the best academies out there, you got FC Dallas.
Yeah, I was going to say, so Dallas.
Runs to North Texas SC, and they were a good team, right? But then you go flip side of it, FCC.
Yeah. I mean, they had an MLS team. They had a crazy year, but like that came out of nowhere also.
Yeah, in their academy, like it's been around for what, 2-3 years, 4 years, something like that. And like I remember when I was in high school, I was getting invited out to this like session in 100-degree weather, and it was with like FCC reserves, and they were still a USL championship team.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "We're gonna start this academy this year," and they were like saying all this stuff, and they didn't start it the next year. And then they didn't start it the next year. I'm like, all right, when's this gonna, like, if they would have started it back then, definitely would be something now. But their recruiting wasn't very good. They had to use they used a lot of their draft picks on the second team, but they also flip-flop between the first and second team.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Murphy played a couple games with the second team, like guys like that. But yeah, I don't even want to go there.
Nah, I can, because I was talking to me and Sam. It was our first tournament game was when the FCC game against Philly was on. And we played Catholic Central. They were like second to last in the area. It was 11-0 at halftime. So like our game started at 7, FCC game started at 8. So like late in the second half, we started watching the game like on the bench. And Sam was looking at the lineup. He's like, I don't want this guy. He's like, I don't want Ian Murphy. He's like, I don't want this guy playing. He's like, this guy doesn't want to play soccer anymore.
Yeah. He doesn't. He really doesn't. But it's all right. You know, he's doing well. He's doing well.
I think you got the better end of the deal team wise.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely agree with that. Even just the situation and everything, I'll take what I'm in.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, FCC is great. Like, I go to their games. Like, my family has the season tickets and all that. But like, Columbus is what we grew up on. Like Columbus Crew is the reason we love the sport, probably.
Right.
It's because like that's what you grew up watching. That's definitely. Like, I think that was for sure the first game I ever went to. I watched them play like New York Red Bulls.
Yeah. First game I ever went to was Houston Dynamo in a suite with my trainer back at like my first club. I went with his kid, Christian Cohen.
Yeah, I went to school with him for a little bit in Centerville.
Right, and we were in a suite, and I just remember like barely watching the game. But I just remember the orange jerseys and Houston Dynamo, and I low-key was I think I was like kind of rooting for Houston Dynamo because they were winning, but like I didn't know any better, man. I was like 6, bro. Like I was just rooting for the winning team, dog. But nah. Going back to the recruiting though, I just had this pop in my head. these guys like on our team, like some of them have been playing pro for a long time, like 2-3 years, just at lower division teams. So they already like get the sense of like how you need to act every day, like
Right.
and just like train in the
Yeah. Like
standard you have to keep, and
I'm.
they have more hope of getting to the first team maybe, or it's just like more drive like to get to the first team. So that's the difference with like our team. Like yeah, Ian Murphy's good, but like does he have that drive? Like I don't think so. I mean, I've met him, I've heard things, and I don't think he has that drive, but we have a lot of guys on our team that like are hungry. We had guys from the first team come down and play with us that are hungry, like very hungry, and just the work ethic every day. So I think that's the difference. Is like you have these young academy kids; they don't have that yet. Like they haven't been trained that. They're still working on that
Yeah.
development side of things, like the mental side of things. And you have a lot of us who like learn that in college, or even like just guys that didn't go to college just learn it because they're playing with like pros for 2-3 years already. So I think that's the main difference. And even just like little things like taking care of your body, like I had to do that in college because there's so many games back to back, like you know how it is, Drew. Like,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous sometimes what college is like. So just learning things like it really did prepare me for this, and so a lot of our team went through that same process, and that's why we dominated. It's just because guys were had a standard higher than most other teams. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and
kind
I
of
just remember
crazy.
seeing that start of the season. I was like, I don't actually know how good they are, but like I'm gonna keep up to start out with it. And then like
Right.
it was just like win, win, win. I was like,
After
it
that
just kept
first
going.
Miami loss. So that first Miami loss was like we had decent amount of academy kids like down there. They had some first teamers playing. We really didn't like know who we were yet, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't go down, but I watched the game, and it was just like looking back on it. I still remember where I was watching it, and I'm just looking like at my girlfriend. I'm like, "Yo, we do not look good. Like, we do not look good. We don't really know what we're doing."
Hmm.
But after that, I don't know. Something just started clicking, and obviously, you carry that momentum, and teams are pretty intimidated by that momentum. So, yeah, the gap was huge. The
Yeah.
gap was huge, especially on our side, like first and the last place team, like massive.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you looked at FCSC team's record, and it was just one win, I think, or something like that.
Even the middle teams, like even the middle
Yeah.
teams. Like, but I think next year a lot of teams will try to replicate what we did. You
Hmm.
have Atlanta joining, who's a prominent team in the USL Championship. Not a prominent team, but they hold their own, you know.
Yeah.
And Red Bulls, they get slaughtered, but like they obviously like they'll have experience, they'll have some older guys. So I think you'll see a lot more competitive games next year. But if I mean, there'll be changes to our team, but I think that Crew will be one of the top teams still. Crew 2 will be one of the top teams still in the league. Make playoffs, make a good run for sure. Maybe win the whole thing again, but definitely a favorite still.
How surreal was it to get drafted by the Crew? I mean, like obviously getting drafted in general is
Yeah,
is is awesome, but like, what are the odds that you go to the Crew? You know what I mean? Because like you could have gone anywhere, right? You could have
yeah,
gone, Miami, Seattle, anywhere. Like what?
yeah. So Seattle was actually one that I think I might have told Drew this.
Yeah. I was probably freaking out.
Yeah, so Seattle had a couple.
Oh, I remember that because Drew was
Seattle
like,
was
dude, Jordan Morris, Jordan Morris. I was like, yeah.
they were a couple places behind the Crew in terms of like the picks. And my like I could probably even go back to my text messages, but my agent he texts me and he goes, "Seattle is gonna pick you. Like Seattle wants you."
Was that like Stefan putting in a good word? Or is he still there? I haven't checked on
So
him
yeah,
lately.
so Stefan said like, "Hey, you need to take a look at this kid." Just put like friend helping a friend out.
Yeah.
He obviously like watched me, like he knows me, so
Yeah.
he's not just hyping me up for no reason. And he put in a good word. My agent knew the Tacoma coach. and he also like has connections with Seattle. And so he obviously put in some words. So he's like, Seattle wants you. And then like 30 seconds later, he texts me, just got a call from Corey Ray at the Crew. I knew Corey just from
Mm-hmm.
my coach at Bowling Green knows him. My coach has some ties with the Crew. He worked with the Crew. So he knew a lot of guys at the Crew. And he's like, Corey Ray just called me. He said, you're going to the Crew. And I was like, there's no way. Like, there's no way I'm going to be an hour and a half hours
Yeah,
from home.
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking. Like that
Like,
must be so surreal to be that
yeah,
close to family. You know, it's
right.
like
A little bit before I had gone up to Columbus, and this is like while I'm still at Bowling Green, and I had just like driven in the facility and just like looked at the practice fields, like kind of looked like in the windows of the facility, just because I'd never seen the new facility before next
Mm-hmm.
to Map Free or Historic Crew Stadium, how it's like connected. Because I think on that side there used to be like a mini soccer field and stuff like for kids to play
Yeah.
on and stuff like that. Like that's what I grew up on. So I mean, now you got practice fields there, everything. I wanted to see it. So like, I mean, it was just surreal. Like I just did that a year prior and then boom, like I'm going to be practicing there. Like I never would have thought that like, A, that's the place I'm going, but like B, like even like, yeah, I'm going to be with the MLS 2 team, like, yeah, MLS organization, I guess you could say. I had dreams, aspirations, wanted to get there, but I really couldn't have told you like this is where I'm gonna be. Like, so definitely,
it's awesome.
yeah, I know, super cool,
It's awesome.
just like crazy. I mean, Seattle would have been all right, it would have
Yeah.
been.
I would have been hyped for you, but I would have been on you
Well,
every
and
day
they
until you
picked
got
my
me a
old
jersey.
teammate. Yeah, exactly. I definitely would have. Like, I would have done anything. Done anything. I'm trying to get freaking a jersey from Darlington, to be honest. But we'll see how that works.
It's an
I'm
Ohio
not
legend
too.
right there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I grew up watching him in,
Yeah.
in college and stuff, man.
Yeah.
But like, we'll see. I'm kind of shy when it comes to that stuff, so we'll see.
Well, yeah, I also don't want to look like a fanboy since he's your teammate.
Right? Like,
In the
maybe
locker room,
I'll
like,
get
hey,
the jersey
hey,
next
hey.
year. Like next to him, like, can I have your jersey, dog?
Yeah, I mean, how do you do that? Like you grew up watching some of these guys. You grew up
Yeah.
rooting for this team. It's like how do you mentally be like, all right, I'm a player on this team. I have to focus. I'm these guys' teammates. I'm not. I'm not trying to be a
No,
fanboy. Like that's got to be tough.
Well,
No, I
I
mean,
might starstruck you, like get you starstruck here real quick. You know who's coming to MLS soon in the next few years, right? The two
Ronaldo.
biggest players in the entire history of the
Messi.
world. Yeah.
Yeah,
Imagine
so
you're just like, hey, Jake, you're going in this week and you're starting center back today. You're like, oh, cool. Oh, we're playing Miami. Oh, I gotta go against Messi.
right.
Like a few
It is
years
what
back, we were
it is.
playing Yellow Springs,
Yeah.
and you could be lining up
Um.
against that.
Well, and I'd be playing number 9. But no, I mean, it's definitely. I'll actually be honest with you guys. As I was walking out of the facility today, I'm walking past Jonathan Mensah,
hmm
and obviously, like being a center back, captain, crew for 7 years now, something like that, like long time, 6-7 years. Um, like made his name for himself, like kind of similar play style. So I've watched him even at Bowling Green. Like I had coaches tell me, yo, you need to watch him. That's one player you should watch just in terms of defending. Like he's a good example. Walking out of the facility today, we did our handshake, like, and I'm walking out of the facility after the handshake, and I'm just like, yo, like I have a handshake with the Mensa. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, yo, this is so sick. Like I look so cool. Like I look so like, I mean, it is what it is, like I'm still a fan, like I feel like just of these guys, but in a different way now.
hmm
I look up to
yeah.
them like on a personal level because I know them and I know some of their stories. Like I've gotten to know them, their families, like about their families. Like a lot of them are dads. A lot of them just like have a work ethic that a leadership role, like those two, Jonah and D, like they're great leaders to replicate like what they do. So it's a different fangirling, I guess you could say. It's one that like I'll take stuff that I see and kind of just stuff I maybe would fangirl over and just replicate it, or tell somebody else about it and tell them how they are, like what they do. Tell my brother at Bowling Green, yeah, this is what Jonah's doing, So kind of
Mhm.
get to share those things. It's pretty cool. And
Yeah,
I'm
more
I'm definitely I'm geeked every day. Like geeked every day. Like
so I'd say more like a level of respect to it more than like a
yeah,
childhood
yeah, yeah.
obsession. Yeah.
Exactly. Just a level of respect. Just in different ways too. Maybe some guys like, yeah, they don't work hard, but like they're class, like
Mhm.
class. And so you just have like the respect is just like there for them. They're good footballers. They've done stuff with their careers already. So yeah, you may not respect them one way, but you have to another way. And that's kind of how every player is. You just have to respect them like all in a certain way. Um, but yeah, definitely a certain level of respect to it. It's cool.
That's crazy.
I'm still a fan first though. Fan first for sure. You have to. You have
Yeah,
to.
you
It's,
have to.
it's a club I grew up with, so. But yeah, honestly, I'd say like this year has taught me a lot of just growing up, being around that. So that's like one thing that like I've learned throughout watching and being around all these guys, like on and off the field, like just what you do every day, in terms of like how you act, how you interact with people, how you hold yourself on the field, like when the time to joke around is, like when the time to get serious is, like
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like I love taking away all those little things. So it's definitely been a lot of growing up this year, but in ways I didn't expect really.
Yeah, I mean, if I can be real, like, since the most time we spent together was in high school and all that stuff, and I'm not saying
Right.
everyone's going to be the most mature self in high school. That'd be weird. Um, but like, we had our 4 years playing soccer together. So like, that's where most of our like relationship comes from and seeing all that. But like, we
Mhm.
weren't friends that like talked every day or like even out of
Yeah.
college or in college, like kept up with each other like all the time. Like I kept tabs with each other, but like you were
Right.
much easier to keep tabs on because you're in like media stuff and all that. You're getting ESPN games. Uh,
Right.
but
Right.
like when you got drafted and then like I think it was the time we went to Top Golf with like Jason and all those guys, and I think it was like
Yeah.
right after Alex's wedding, yeah. And then you and me had lunch like the next weekend or something like that. I was
Yeah.
like, this guy's like on a whole other level. Like, like he's got his head on his shoulders and everything. Like he is focused on it. And it's not like that I wasn't expecting it. It was just that like it was like the last time I really spent that kind of time with you was probably like our senior year of high school, like senior trip
Right.
stuff
Like
like
going to
that.
Chipotle and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was just like from that to just like bits and pieces here and there across those 4 or 5 years. And then just like,
Yeah,
yo, like,
man.
this is me. I
That's
was just like,
crazy.
yeah, no, this is like, I was really like impressed. And like, I was like, I think he's got this. Like, he's going to, like, he seriously seems like he's got it on his shoulders. He's working hard. He's looking at the right things. Like,
Right.
I'm happy for him.
Right. See, this is why I love doing this. Like, I'm glad you both invited me to like do this podcast because like stuff like this comes up, and you get to appreciate like the journey.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes you get lost in the process and you don't appreciate where you come from, like
Mm-hmm.
in the process of the whole picture. So, I love this. Yeah, man. Like honestly, looking back, I was an idiot.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, aren't we all in high school, right? But
Yeah.
like, I mean, yeah, over the course of I guess my university years, so going to Huntington University and
Mm-hmm.
Bowling Green, like that's when it was just bits and pieces of just like connecting here and there. I know I visited Wilmington, like I think one time.
Yeah.
Saw you over breaks and stuff here and there,
Mm-hmm.
but even then, like it's only a short bit of time, so yeah, I guess like throughout that process, maybe you see like bits and pieces, and those bits and pieces were probably crazy.
Well, I mean,
Probably
seeing you for a visit or seeing you on a break, like it's not going to be
it's not gonna
like
be
a
dull,
chill,
right?
like, how are you doing?
Yeah,
It's going to be
right.
like, yo, it's Thanksgiving. We're 22. What are we doing?
Right, exactly. So, yeah, you definitely don't really like sit down and talk, and like
Yeah.
even sitting with like Joe Hardy and guys like that, like more recently Griffin, like other people
Mm-hmm.
that we went to high school with. Yeah, you kind of see like the maturity levels of each person and how like each person has changed over the course of time, with just little windows of seeing each other. But yeah, I think a lot of it had to do with just soccer and not helping me grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting my priorities straight. Um, I guess success in soccer helped with that. I would say if I didn't have success in soccer, I wouldn't have started to work harder. I don't know what maybe
No, I'm gonna cut in here. This guy's a serial winner. All right. In high school, we won 3 conference titles out of 4 years. In college, how many conference titles did you win?
like 3.
3. So that's 6 in what 9 years there, I think,
Yeah,
with the COVID year. Um, and then you go first year in, win a conference title and the title with crew.
yeah,
That's 7 conference titles in 10 years.
He's just a natural born winner. So that's
Seven
just
in
all it
ten
is.
years.
yeah.
You know,
Okay,
I think I texted him after one of the Bowling Green titles, and I was like, "So do you just win a conference title everywhere you go? Like, is that just what you do now?"
right, right. Yeah, I that text was hilarious because I think like a couple other people like
Yeah.
texted me that some old coaches and whatnot because they even brought up like state championships when I was like youth.
Well, yeah. I
And
mean, you won state a couple times with your club team too,
yeah,
and all that stuff. Yeah.
right.
Like,
So yeah, I mean, I
I guess
guess
maybe even Dayton Dutch
that's
Lions had that go, and then like the Flint City. I don't know.
yeah.
I
No,
know Dayton Dutch Lions probably not, but
we didn't win those. We got second, I think, with Dayton Dutch. No, we won one with Dayton Dutch Lions, but I didn't play much that year. I was still a little
it still counts.
Johnny Stick. I didn't. Yeah, I guess I practiced with the team all year,
Yeah,
so
I take it.
I'll take it.
Trophy's a trophy,
But
man.
but yeah, like I think I guess to reword that, it's more just like eventually, like it wasn't like the success that drove me. It was like wanting more success after realizing the talent could only get me to a certain point.
Yeah.
So like the talent got me through high school without working hard. Like I worked, I went to the field, like we went to
Yeah.
Springboro Field,
Yeah, I
like
mean that's
we
high school soccer. You know, all you
right.
need is just a little bit of talent, and you're there.
But like looking back, like if I put in like the work I put in now, like I'd be playing. I wouldn't have gone to college.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had the talent to where I could have done that, but I didn't. And so I think when the talent started not fading away, but just like it just started like matching in terms of people like putting in that work, and I was not really like at the top, of my team. At Huntington, I'd say like I wasn't the top player, and I was like playing with some Brazilians that were like 23, 24. I'm like, yo, like these guys got some tech, like they got some quality to them.
Yeah.
They also know the game a lot but more than me. Like, what are they doing? So yeah, it's like now I see what these guys are doing. I'm gonna start doing that. Start learning, start getting better, start working harder, start getting into the gym. I had surgery at Huntington, my shoulder. After that, I was like, I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna rehab, and that's when I think things started to change. Was when I started to rehab from that, and I was like, I wanna do something. Like I wanna see if I can get back and do something like
Yeah.
special at Huntington. That
Mm-hmm.
was my goal. Just like win a conference title. Like I wasn't thinking anything else.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, can I get all conference? Can I get conference defender of the year? Like what can I do? And that sophomore season, I ended up playing forward with Huntington, but it was very weird. But that like that season after coming back from surgery, like definitely helped me just because I had to rehab and I had to actually hit the gym and work hard. And I was like, what, I kind of want to keep this. Like I kind of want to keep working hard, like see where it takes me, like
Yeah.
gain some muscle. think when I started like gaining muscle, everyone was like, okay, like this guy might be serious. Like
Yeah.
he's not a stick anymore. I put on like 20, 30 pounds of just like muscle. And because in high school I was scrawny, like very scrawny. I was
Yeah, I mean, if you
short.
look at like your like freshman pictures, like 5'8".
Not even. I was like 5'4" my freshman year, man.
Yeah, you had a growth
So
spurt at the right time.
yeah, I'd say so. I grew a couple inches in college, I believe. I think so.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think the success was a big driving factor to a certain point. Just like wanting more success and realizing that talent wasn't going to get me there.
yeah, and I think that's huge. Like that's where a lot of players that like put up your numbers in high school and stuff like that, or like you were like probably in like all American like meetings with stuff like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's the difference between where like you make that jump to the next level or not. Like
Sacrifice, yeah,
not
all that.
saying like you had like yes men or anything like that, because you wouldn't be here if you had yes men your whole life. Like I know I hype you up, like pretty much all I do is like hype you up things. I'm not gonna tell you like work on this and then you're gonna get there or something like that,
Right.
because I think you know that already anyway. But like
Yeah.
that's, I think like the tough part is like when people grow up their whole life just hearing you're the best, you're the best, you're the best, you do like, and like, you know, that's great, that's always great to hear and it pushes people, I'm sure, but that can only take you so far to where someone's like, hey, there actually is someone better than you. Like, you
Right.
know, like you're scoring what you put up, what 40 something goals senior year of high school.
Yeah.
There's people that have put up 91 goals in the professional leagues.
Right. Right. So it's, yeah. So it's like picking the person you look up to, and like, or picking a person just to look up to, and not like not looking in the mirror. It's
Mm-hmm.
like realizing that there's better
Yeah.
players. So like, do I want to reach those levels or not? Like, how
Yeah.
do I get there?
And that's where I'm like, yeah, he's got his head on straight. Like he's looking at this not as like, I got drafted, don't even speak to me. Like ever since
Yeah.
you got drafted, I think you've gotten like even bigger and bigger on like, yo, like what are you doing? Like let's hang out, let's talk, let's do this. I want to see you. And I'm like, this is opposite of what he should be doing, right? He should be going out to like Vegas right now. Like go throw your contract on that on red.
Right. Right. I think I've actually, yeah, since I've turned pro, I mean, partied less, like done all that less. Being out of college, obviously, like
Yeah.
just do that in general, but just like realizing that there are so many things that you can just add to get you better.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've even started to like go get like trigger point massages just to help my sleep and help me relax, help me like fall asleep at night, like things that I need to work on, get more sleep, like. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'd say I have my head on straight now more than I did even when I got drafted. When I got drafted, my head was a little big, but
As it should.
right, yeah, yeah, and it kind of has to be at this level. So I would say it's never gotten like out of control,
Yeah, I mean, you
but
can't be timid. You know,
I
can't.
would say like it's a roller coaster career, and your head gets big and then you get knocked down from certain things. Like
Yeah.
this year I had surgery and just go down, and then now you have to bring it back up. So yeah, you have to have your head on straight, otherwise you're screwed. Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of leads into my question. I was gonna ask, like, how do you like decompress? You know what I mean? Like obviously, like it's soccer, soccer, soccer. Like I'm sure, like every day you're going to the facility, it's like how do you find time to like decompress? Like, what do you do? Like, what method do you? I mean, it's gotta be tough. I know for like an athlete, I mean,
Yeah.
finding those times to do that's gotta be pretty hard.
Yeah, I'd say family and friends always help. When that's what I need, like I kind of think about what I need in certain points or certain days. Like, what do I need here? I'm going through this. Do I need a phone call with my mom? Yeah, probably. Like you kind of use family and friends, not use them, but just have them there for that reason. Like that's what family and friends are for. So going home and just like going over and hanging out with Drew and Andrew, like at their apartment that
Mm-hmm.
one night, like it just helps, like because you get your mind off that everyday grind, soccer, 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 like, and that can become addicting and just take over. and destroy relationships, stuff like that. So you don't ever want that to happen. So yeah, family and friends, I think, help with that the most. But then in terms of just like getting your mind off soccer, I'd say um, I do yoga, meditation at night, just relax, just put some AirPods in, listen to like a voiceover or some music, and just kind of detach myself from what's going on. I think that helps me a lot. And then different things, just like nature, stuff like that. You just want to try and put yourself in like good areas. You don't want to decompress in bad environments or like hurtful environments. Like going to the bar late on a Friday night, like because you're stressed from a week of off season, which I could do this Friday night, but instead I'm gonna be helping my mom move my grandparents' stuff out of their house. So I like do other things that detach me from soccer, but not in a hurtful way. So yeah, a lot of different things that you could probably just think of like on the spot. I'm hopefully gonna adopt a dog here soon, and that
Oh
will
boy.
help. Yeah, that'll help. That'll help for sure. Like in terms of kind of detaching myself from
Yeah.
soccer, and have, I mean, I had a gecko for in college that I took care of, but that wasn't really the same thing, like I'd play with the gecko for a little bit, put him back in his cage, and then leave, so like that was also something to take care of. But like I like having a dog would be nice, like a companion,
Mhm.
something like that. So and a lot of athletes actually have like emotional support animals too. So yeah, just different things like that, I think help. I think everybody should use those, to be honest, just to
Yeah.
disconnect from their job, what they're doing, family and friends, man. That always helps. Always.
No, I like that because I didn't even talk to Noah about it, but like when I texted you, Jake, and saying like, "Hey, what we're going to talk about," like a big thing I wanted to talk about, or like get on at least, was like, like you're a professional athlete, and like I think you might even do this with other professional athletes, maybe, but like we all did it growing up and everything. Like looking at an athlete coming out and be like, "Yeah, I'm not doing too good. I'm kind of depressed," and then we're just like, "How are you depressed? You're making 42 million this year," like all that stuff. But like
Right.
in reality, like they're still a real person. Like they only do their, like, you go to your training in the morning, and like after that, like you do a workout maybe and then go home. Like you got probably another 10 hours where you're not a soccer player. And
Right.
like I was just, now that we like have that opportunity, I'm like, this is a guy I grow up with. Like I can just talk to him and be like, what's it like? Like how do you do that? Like is it
Right.
actually that hard? Or like you just are like, nah, I'm living life, man. I'm a pro. But like
Yeah.
I think it's big that like I don't know, maybe we just stop seeing sports, like big sports players and athletes and all this, and just being like, nah, that can't be upset, because like it's
Yeah.
tough. And like now that media is where it is now, like if you have one bad game, like, and it's like a popular sport, something like that, you're done for. Like no one's ever gonna give you respect. Like obviously people will, like the fans will, like people that like don't suck in the world will be like, but like there's enough people out there that like you're done for on social media.
Right. All the hate, the
Yeah.
disrespect,
And it's
racism,
yeah,
all
it's
that.
crazy. Like especially with soccer. Yeah, I mean, like, but just like because it's worldwide, like you cannot escape that.
No, I think, yeah. Honestly, it's definitely something that I've gone through. I've been open about it too when people talk about it. That comes up in groups, or like at Bowling Green. I've spoke about it, to the team, just in different settings. We had a life coach at Bowling Green, and he's actually still my life coach. And like I have to pay him now, but because I'm out of college. But he worked for our team, and I opened up to him, and he was like, "You need to share this with the team, like you just need to share like how you went through this and just different feelings you had, because there are young guys that don't think they can like feel the same." And I was like, "Yeah, for sure. Like I'm just a chill dude. I'll talk about it. Like I don't care." And honestly, like it's a big thing. You see, like you said, you see these guys open up about it. I think I forget who the big one who just came out recently was, but he was in the Premier League. this was like a couple weeks ago,
I don't know
saying
if I remember
that,
seeing that.
yeah, but just saying that like he's been dealing with mental health issues, um, and I think even Ruben Loftus-Cheek as well had that injury. And obviously, when you go through an injury, like you get depressed,
Yeah.
man. Like
Yeah.
you, when you're a footballer, a professional footballer, like that's your one thing that you find joy from. Like that's one thing that like it's your love.
Yeah.
It's your number one love. And so when that's taken away from you, like Loftus Cheek, like me, like you get depressed. And I think it comes through phases for everybody. I think phases of life, different stages of life bring different things, different feelings. So I think everyone could probably say that, not even just athletes, but
Yeah.
just every human. But yeah, I think athletes are kind of put on this pedestal. Even me, like maybe because social media, maybe because you see like different things the crew puts out, like me smiling and stuff like that. But in the end, at the end of the day, I could go home and just lay on my bed all day, be depressed, like not talk to anybody. And then you see me go to the next event, I'm smiling, all this, just because you have to, like,
Yeah.
and yeah, you do find joy in it because it's football, but then you have to find enjoyment in other things, and I think that sometimes can be hard. Even last year, I think I got sucked into soccer a little bit too much, and I didn't really enjoy my last year of college like I should have. So yeah, I think getting sucked into soccer a little bit too much and not finding those ways to detach yourself, like it can really hurt, because then you just kind of avoid it, and then eventually it just kind of takes over, and then you start going downhill with soccer, like on and off the field. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely something athletes I think go through, and like pop stars and stuff like that, like Justin Bieber, he's one that comes to mind that's come out, and he's just super open about how his depression took over, anxiety, all that. But yeah, I went through it in college. There's still times when it comes back, injuries during the surgery process. It was really tough, and I think there were some times when I detached in wrong ways. Just maybe going out to get a couple drinks, and I'm not getting hammered, but like that's just something that like you don't want to fall into, and so yeah, surgery was a tough time for me this year. But I found good ways to detach myself from the feelings I was having, just like hanging out with family, seeing a bunch of friends, going back home, because I got to be home a lot during the surgery process and rehab. So, and not playing in games and not traveling. So I definitely got to spend more time with family and friends, and that was huge, like huge. All the friends, I mean, I hung out with Drew a couple of times, like went to games and stuff when I was injured, DC games, like all the friends and family that I saw during the last 6 months, like during this whole season, like it helped more than any of them you will ever know.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't know that until I say something,
Right.
It's just like, it's not something I'll really go around saying. It's just how I feel. Like I did that on purpose. I went around family and friends on purpose because I was not happy. Like I didn't know what to do because I couldn't play.
I will say you
So
come into that DC game has one of my favorite memories of the entire season. We were playing against Troy Christian, which is like our school rival and everything. Jake's back at the game, and our coach was like, "Yo, Jake, come talk to these guys. Like, get them fired up. Like, this is our big game here." And like, I'm at this point, Jake's already like halfway through his speech, so I'm still walking back over to the team because I was putting some stuff away before they ran out there to go play. I get over there, and I hear Jake start. Like, I can slowly start to hear his voice more and more. And I get over there, and he's like, "All right, now let's go fucking take it to him." I was like. He goes, "Oh, my bad," and I was like,
and I was like,
because
oh,
as you guys know, like I coach a Dayton Christian, like we don't say
Dayton
that.
Christian.
We don't say that there. And
I
Jake's
was like,
like,
oh
"Oh,"
shit. It's like,
corrected
oh.
it, corrected it, saying, "Oh shit."
Yeah, Man,
Yeah.
I mean, all those kids are gonna remember that at least.
Yeah, and they've all heard it 100 times before that. Also,
Right. So, like at halftime, you said Brady went in there and did the same
yeah,
thing. So
it happens. But
it happens. It happens.
no,
It's just part
that
of
was
it.
one of my most memorable moments of the season.
Oh, yeah, that was a good one. I think a lot of guys will probably remember that, and that will be a highlight of their season as well.
Yeah, I mean, they
I
never
know
had, none of those guys ever had the Scott Alexander, or maybe I don't think any of those guys ever did. I think he was gone by the time those
he
guys
was
were
gone,
freshmen.
man. He was
Yeah.
gone. We got that every game. We got
No,
that
one of
every.
our assistant coaches, he was like, he was a football player and everything, played for UD. He'll tell you stories if you ever meet him of the 2 games he played. He lost one and won one national championship. He only remembers the
Yep,
one he lost.
yep,
But nah, he was like a drill sergeant. It,
yep.
it
Love
was
that.
at halftime. If you're playing bad, he let you know. He let you know it.
His son was on the team, so he just did not give a
Yeah,
crap.
yeah. I still remember to this day, like when we played Wellington our senior year. It was the day we had homecoming and everything. Like that weekend, like morning
I was
game.
hurt that game too,
That
man.
was the game that Wilmington came to scout me, and I had no idea. And it's at halftime. We're tied 1-1. Like we were playing like crap. And he's
And
he's yelling at everyone. He looks over at me and goes, "You got a college coach here?" I was like, "I do. Why?"
you remember that, man.
It was
Oh
it was
my
etched into
god.
my soul. So that's when I like it hit me then. Like maybe it's because like he screamed it to me at halftime, but I was like, because I was thinking of this earlier when you were talking about like getting scouted and everything, and I'm like, bro, I could barely handle it. Like with a D3 college scouting me, like I don't know how Jake was like, yeah, I might get drafted to the MLS. Like I about cried.
Yeah, I mean, you just put it out of your head. You can't think about that
Yeah,
stuff. It's like right now, I can't think about first team, second team contracts. Like, you
right.
just can't think about it. Otherwise, it just sucks you into your phone, sucks you into news, sucks you into different things, and so you just have to just go and just be like, all right, every day I'm just gonna get better and I'm just gonna play well. Like that's my mindset every day. I'm just gonna go get better, play well, and hang out with my buddies and hang out with people and
Mm-hmm.
talk with people, joke around. Like I really just go and I have a good time. Like I
Yeah,
put on music in the morning, 7:30, 8, stretch. I'm the only one in the gym. I get my day going, and then when people come in, I just greet them throughout the day. Like work different staff, everything. Being actually surgery. This is where I'll talk about surgery and how this whole process helped me to be where I'm at today. This whole season, man, was probably, and I'll probably say this my whole career. It was probably my best season that I've ever had an experience in my whole career so far. And I I think I've only told my mom this maybe, but I only say that like, and people will probably think I'm crazy if I said that, and they know like what I've done through college and high school and whatnot. Like, really, none of those seasons are better than this one, and I'm like, man, yeah, like it's my first pro season, so okay, people can maybe agree with me, but I was hurt all season and I went through surgery, ups and downs. I never really got healthy. I was going through rehab, coming in early, leaving late, getting treatment like every single day, just doing stuff that you don't want to do and
yeah,
not training and not playing in games. But like the what it taught me this year and just the patience it taught me and just like being grateful for where I was at in the process and the journey, like it totally shaped my mind in such a different way. And like I guess taught me how to be like how I am now, like just like grateful, so much more grateful than I was before. And I think like I'm just content with where I'm at and like obviously want to strive for more and strive to be great and strive to do big things, but like at the same time be content with where you're at and not really like look past where you're at. So yeah, surgery definitely like sucked, but this season was definitely probably the best season that I'll ever have because it's gonna propel me to do big things. Because because I just have a different mindset now in terms of not the work I do, not the mindset I have, but just like how I am, like how I act and how I play. Like I have a different appreciation for the game and just for other people around me. So I think, we'll see what happens in the future, but I'm betting that it's going to be looking pretty nice here in the next couple of years.
Yeah,
I'll
no,
tell you
that's huge. Honestly, like that's the mentality you need to have, I think.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. But super sick. Sorry.
You're good. No, you got anything else?
Yeah, I was gonna ask just some real quick hitters. What's your go-to song of choice pregame?
Pregame. Man.
What's that one song that gets you just absolutely hyped, man?
The thing is, I don't really like listen to crazy hype music before games.
Really?
So I listen to a lot of music that I can't understand. So like I can understand some Spanish words and whatnot, phrases, different things, but I can't really put it all together in music because it's too fast. So I listen to a lot of like reggaeton in Spanish because I can not think about what they're saying and like
Sure.
the words. It's just like rhythm and kind of just gets me going. Like dancing, I like dancing before games in the locker room. I've always done that. Just like free flowing, chill guy joking around, and then I'll focus up when I need to. But I'd say I mean, I like Bad Bunny. Anything Bad Bunny.
Got it.
Yeah, Bad Bunny.
I
Spanish.
saw like a clip of Luka Doncic trying to request that or something like that recently. Like I was scrolling through TikTok like yesterday, I think it was. He was like, "Bad Bunny, put on Bad Bunny."
Yeah, right.
Nah, man.
What's up?
All the Rubber Ducks guys, all the guys that are from like the Dominican, Puerto Rico, all those guys, they love Bad Bunny. It's always on pregame.
Oh
Rubber
yeah.
Ducks.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Oh yeah.
He's huge.
Stuff's good. Any other quick hitters?
I thought I had more, but let's see. I mean,
Favorite English Premier League team?
oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that. Yeah. So yeah. Go with that. Favorite.
Yeah, I think my flag's kind of like hanging low. Oh wait, that's my coat.
Oh, I got one right here on the floor. I haven't hung up yet. Just a little.
Look at that. Come on, we're here. We're here.
Chelsea.
Obviously, like American was like MLS was crew, obviously, but Chelsea, man, always and forever a blue.
Love it.
Hopefully we'll
Who you
step on
think?
that pitch one day. Look at this. I have the walk. I'm gonna have that view in person.
Oh
One
yes,
day.
sir.
One way or another, but hopefully one way. Hopefully.
Who wins the World Cup?
Ooh.
Brazil's the favorite. I looked today because me and a couple of guys were looking at the betting odds.
Brazil is
why
so
not?
good.
I know.
That's so good.
With Neymar at center mid too, I like that because that frees up Vinicius to go on the
Their
left.
defense too, man. I know Thiago Silva gonna ball out.
He's old, but he's got it still.
Man, he's got it. You put him in. Who's gonna play next to him? Militao probably.
Is Marquinhos hurt, or did he not go in?
I don't know.
I haven't watched too much of like how he actually is playing.
But
honestly.
I think.
I mean, they got some chemistry though.
Right. I don't think Brazil's gonna win. I gotta be honest. Even being the favorites, I just don't think they're gonna win. Don't think they have that.
I just don't really know if I could guess because I think France could easily fall into that World Cup curse. Yeah, I don't know. The lights are gonna be so bright on them because they know what this is for Messi.
But that's the
thing.
The
same for Portugal.
They have a decent amount of older guys that have been around a while, and
we all know what the thing is though. Is Di Maria? Is he going to be there? Because he's hurt right now, right? Because obviously, that's been the thing for them. Every time Di Maria performs,
is he actually hurt though, or are they just holding him out for?
Hopefully, that's the case.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
I mean, if it's not Argentina or Brazil, it's USA.
Yeah.
At plus 13,000 odds. But
I think we got a chance.
I've said we either win every game in our group or lose every game. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think our group
I
is.
want to see, like, it's tough though, because like who goes at striker? Like, does Brandon Vasquez get a spot after the year he just had? And as I've got a World Cup podcast coming up in a month. I can get into that then.
Yes, I have to do some research.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, South Korea's in it. You'll have sun.
If I have to give one answer, I think my answer would be Germany.
Really? You think they got it?
I think it's a very odd pick for a lot of people that know football.
I think they're fifth in odds.
But they're up there in odds. But
Mhm.
like people don't understand. Like I just watched them more than other teams during like the Nations League and stuff.
Probably helps with Kai being on
If
there.
you look at it now, the coach they have, obviously.
Who's their coach now? I don't. Okay, yeah. Back when Bayern just beat every team 15-0.
Exactly. And then you have informed Leroy Sané. You have informed just scored today Timo Werner. You have just scored
And Kai
today
Havertz,
Kai Havertz. You have informed Rudiger, who's just a baller.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have guys that
Yeah, Kimmich, you got Neuer.
Kimmich.
Yeah.
Like not even Neuer,
Thomas
bro.
Muller.
If Neuer doesn't play, you have Ter Stegen, bro.
Either way, you're getting something good.
Yeah, so I think that's my team this year. I think they're gonna win it all. I think if we do brackets, that's who I'll pick. We should do brackets.
I would, 100%. I'll make like 100
get,
probably.
We should start. Yeah, we should start getting a little group together and maybe see.
I'll probably have 3 brackets: the USA bracket, the real bracket, and then the Argentina-Portugal final bracket.
You gotta have a USA bracket.
Yeah,
all right, you got to talk about this on your next podcast.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe just bring me in again.
Honestly, yeah, might as well.
I'm done.
Hey, found me. Like I said, I'm gonna do some research. So
right.
I'm gonna get my.
Well, Noah, it's nice actually having a longer conversation. I appreciate you coming to that one game, but
yeah, man, definitely gotta.
It's kind of quick afterwards, so.
No, it's awesome, man. It was a pleasure seeing you. I'm definitely gonna make out to some more games for sure.
Right.
Pleasure having you on here.
Yes,
awesome talking to you. And Drew. Anything else, man?
I mean, I don't know if Jake, you want to say something first. If you got anything else.
Honestly, no. Just I don't really have anything besides whoever watches this. There's gonna be some of my friends and family that watch this for sure. I'm gonna get them watching this, but just keep an eye out. This next year is gonna be a big year. I'm healthy.
Jake Erlandson season coming up.
I'm excited, man. I'm
excited.
Not
Jake Erlandson season. Not Jake Erlandson season.
Hey, to me it is.
Yeah. Okay. But
to you, it's another year.
Healthy,
you know?
I'm back.
Yeah.
I'm feeling good. I'm also I'm living good. I'm doing good. It's gonna be a good year. So, 2023 will be a big year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited. Thanks for having me on this podcast.
Yeah, always a pleasure.
I love talking football always. But I'll see you guys soon for sure.
Yeah. Peace.